I hate this sport. This week was...
1 week it took him.
This week was so bad, bro. This was one of the worst weeks. Like, welcome to the BackYourself Podcast. I am Hussein. I did not lose a bet. I just shaved my head for no reason.
He did. He has no hair.
Whoever is like about to comment, bro, where'd your head go? Like, just let me live.
You do remember when you used to put your hair on the line?
Yeah.
Only for footy, obviously.
I stopped doing it. I had never lost a bet. I kept my hair the whole footy season. Anyway, maybe I should grow it out before round 1. Anyway.
No, you should.
Here to recap week 12 of this horrific sport where I think it was a pod first. 0 for fucking 8, 0 for 7. And genuinely, if we threw a couple other games in, there could have been the first 0 for 11.
No, we literally only sent 3.
I know we sent 3, but...
So they only think it's 0 for 3, but we were... No, I got one right. The only one I bet against you.
Yeah, exactly. So
that was the
0 for 50 for me. Like, it was a really bad day. Prime time, like we can't buy win on primetime games. We can't buy win on fucking anything.
No, 2. We did win primetime the first time.
Wake up, cunt.
We won the first game.
I'm talking about games that matter.
Jameis won.
Jameis, a fucking war came to town, which was probably one of the only few we tipped right. Quick recap. There was no reason for Steelers to be 3.5. They should have been 6.5. And in saying that, they went there and fucked it anyway in the snow. As soon as it started snowing, Jameis turned into fucking God in cleats. And yeah, even after Steelers came back and went touchdown, Jameis threw the interception and they converted like 15 fourth downs in a row to go and actually put it in the end zone all the way. So I've officially seen everything. Already, I should have known back then, like, all right, this is not the week to be taking shit.
Well, they scored 17
when
points.
Jameis of War came to town.
They scored 17 points when it was snowing.
Yeah. We gave out overs for that game, 36.5. It went down to with I think the weatherman set the line for that one because he was like, nah, bro, it's gonna be windy, and I was like, I'm waiting for the snow because then that's when the points will come.
I did see on Twitter someone put $250,000 on unders.
Great bet. What did he get? 40 something? There was no reason for that guy to lose that bet, but that seems to be the theme of the NFL at the moment, where closing line value, logic, anything like working in your favor, all it takes is like some garbage, and then once the game's live, it's out of your control, and you would just like end up getting fingered, which is what happened to us.
And just take Detroit.
So first of all,
you want to start with
moving on to the early red zone, no Germany, Tehran, no weird game at midnight tonight, which was good.
Fun then, like I said.
But we move on to the first game where Chris sounded the alarm for multiple teams. So maybe we can start with part 1 of his upset alert. Colts of trench warfare, which I backed him on big time. I thought these guys are going to fire up, and they fired up and put 6 points on the scoreboard and essentially gave up to Lions, who I want to issue a formal apology to. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I won't do it again. I will not put $1 against you cunts for the rest of the season. Until the playoffs.
You do realize the last time I apologized what happened when they fucked it up the week after?
That's fine, but you know what? Like, it's incredible how much these pricks, with no reason to go and try, actually go and don't try and still cover these massive spreads anyway. So this team is just fucking on bags, and I want no part of them. For them, against them, like, I can't take it anymore with this Lions team.
Just hurry up and go fuck it up on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
you know what? You guys are, in my opinion, a ticking time bomb to explode. One game is just not gonna. Something's not gonna go your way. Gibbs won't get 5,000 yards, and everyone thinks it's some sort of fucking fairy tale that these guys are just gonna cover to the end of the year. They've covered too many times. Quite simply put, the team that covers every single game through the regular season fucks it up in the playoffs. So, at the moment, I'm just going to stay away because it's a ticking time bomb. In due time, they'll fuck it up.
Fair enough. On the other side of things, Colts
are something new.
Fuck me, boys. Like,
they tried.
The defense played their tails off. I did not expect Jonathan Taylor and the difference was Colts could not run the ball with Taylor and Lions could with Gibbs as always. So fair enough.
Stop the run.
Fair enough. We'll take the L on that one and we'll move forward to Tommy DeVito of War, which
I'll take the L on that one.
We will take multiple L's on this one. Shout out to you, Charles Crooney, for watching this, but wow.
Giants
to think that it could get worse after dropping Danny Dimes. I wish he played. Fuck me, boys. What the fuck?
They wouldn't have scored a touchdown.
Nah, fuck. DeVito and just despicable.
Listen, they could have had Mahomes and they would have lost.
They've given up.
They just gave up. The
Quite clearly.
Just gave up.
There was like 2 possible responses coming out of the bye week and coming out of the news that DJ's been dropped. That they'll be like, thank fuck we don't have this inbred at quarterback anymore. We can fire up now. And we're like physically feeling better after a bye week. But it went the complete opposite way where these cunts have essentially melded in for the rest of the season. So a despicable performance by Giants. And Tampa, shout out to you guys. I thought -6 was a little bit much for you guys to cover on the road, but a lot of teams went and covered big lines on the road today, and you were no different to any of them. So shout out to you guys. Baker, Mike Evans did their thing, and the Giants defense had no fucking semblance of fighting to stop them.
Thank you, Giants.
For what? Giving up?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Again, like I said about the Bears game, quick preview for Friday, Thanksgiving. You know Giants are going to try in a Thanksgiving match, especially against their arch rivals, Dallas.
Do you know?
I want no bar of it.
All right. Talking about trying. You know it's bad when even sharp but blunt loses by half a point. The Bears are fucking war.
Well, you need an onside kick to stop.
Did the same garbage as last week and got the same garbage result, essentially. Division rival at home, wire to wire in the competition just to go to overtime and fuck it up. So Vikings, after 3 straight road games, you did the job and you leave Soldier Field with another win in your win column. 9-2 now. They're not too shabby at all. On the other side of things, officially...
They've given up.
Give up.
They're not going to, though.
Fuck off.
They played Detroit.
Go and just lose by 500. There's nothing in your franchise for you guys to keep trying.
God, they've lost a lot of close games. Bears season could have been a whole different story with a few of these wins. So, you win one of the Patriots Arizona game, you don't lose to Washington, who we figured out aren't that good. And you win one of these Bears in Green Bay, and the game on Thanksgiving becomes a whole lot more important. But now your season's done. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I love Bears, but you can't fuck it for yourselves, to be honest.
Yeah, I kind of hate that the game's in... As far as the schedule goes, in Detroit as well, I would have rather, at least give these cunts a chance, put it in Chicago.
They do have one more in Chicago.
Yeah, I know, but
it's over,
on a big stage, it's going to get raped.
I don't think the talking point's Bears. I think Vikings are probably the most underrated 9-2 team at the moment. I truly think people believe they're 7-5.
Yeah, I know. They've crept up.
They're 9-2, and it's crept up on them. 3 road wins in a row. I think someone was saying when I was watching yesterday before the games, since 2021, we haven't had a team to play 3 road games in a row, yet alone win all 3 of them. And that dates back even more. But they won all 3. Saying that, they played Jacksonville, Tennessee, and Bears.
So you know what's going to happen now.
Which means they'll go home and fuck it up. But if they're actually truly contenders, they shouldn't. And going on to next week, I think a big tell will be what Detroit do against Bears. Not that I'm thinking, don't get me wrong. Bears have no chance. But if Bears do fucking somehow pull out one of the Thanksgiving miracles, I do not want to be against Vikings. They're going to fucking kill whoever I think they play Arizona at home. They'll have a chance to lead the division. That is fucking insane.
Yeah. I think they would put a big time bounty on Max Prestige Boy as well if it gets to that stage. All the fucking killers can't.
Detroit, as many as you guys are winning, they're 1 win behind you. And then you guys have one more game later down the line. Obviously, you have the current tiebreaker, but
I feel like Vikings can go there and maybe win.
They can.
Yeah.
They can.
Of all the pricks, I would trust them a little bit more than Green Bay even. Because
Green Bay, don't worry about them.
Yeah.
They're going to lose to Philly. That's fine.
Carrying on to the who cares game of the morning. Dolphins beat the dog piss out of Patriots. Patriots have given up on the season. And Dolphins think they're some wild card creating gods. But
everyone else loses around them.
You know they're going to give up eventually. So this is all a facade.
Well, they're 1 win from the wild card position now. Tailing on the Broncos, the unstoppable Broncos. But we'll get to them a little bit later. But yeah, they're going to keep running. It seems like, I said this last year with Rams, it seems like Miami is the Rams of last year, that they just win fucking 10 games in a row and make the playoffs. Rams clearly fucked that up today when they easily could have won and still made the playoffs. They might still do, because that division, no matter what, you have to be 5-6 or 6-5, and you just stay fucking next to each other. Because as we saw with Arizona, you can't pull away by a win, because automatically you just lose to some degenerate. So, That's essentially what's happening. So Rams can still make the playoffs. Anyone can still win that division, except for one team, in my opinion, because I think they've given up. But which is insane for me to say because I had them in the Super Bowl. But
yeah, we'll get to them in the late window.
But yeah, in terms of this game, again, who cares? Patriots have quit. Miami are going to make the playoffs because everyone's a fucking idiot.
Yes. Speaking of fucking idiots, William Levis goes on the road to CJ Stroud's house.
The game of the decade.
In the only apparently fucking division... There was a division dog morning, but not for the ones that we took. And this was one of them where Tennessee... We came on the pod and said, you know what, they're probably value, but I can't be bothered taking Will Levis. He's an inbred. And he proceeds to throw a pick six in the game and win. And Texans, after all that defending of raping Dallas, defending Jets quite well, and then giving up randomly... defending Lions even, who nobody else did that. They go and give up 32 points to Will Levis and lose outright as 8-point home favorites. What a fucking disaster.
The sophomore slump is here for CJ Stroud. That's all you can say. You can't say, oh, he doesn't have Diggs. He has Nico Collins. He has all his offensive weapons. He has Mixon absolutely playing out of his mind. Didn't seem like it today. Look, no one in the... I'm actually more scared of the Wildcards than I'm scared of Texans. And depending on who the Wildcards are. Obviously tomorrow we're not going to... We're doing it before the Ravens game, but Ravens are currently a Wildcard, so you're definitely more scared of them. But no one's scared of this Texans team. They're literally the equivalent of Falcons. That they're just going to win the division and just fuck
Get
off.
raped in week one.
And... they lead through CJ Stroud. I think a lot of the stuff that went on in this game, there's no reason for the defense literally got a pick and just got threw it back to them.
That was fucking stupid sequence.
And, how can the defense just keep firing up for this garbage? And they didn't. That's why they conceded 32 points. So, to be honest, he's playing like a fucking idiot. And I don't know. I think he's lost his... What I've seen from this cunt is he's not running as often, and I think a small part of him is like, if I get hit one more time, I'm done. And for some reason, I feel like he's just very reserved in the pocket, which is actually playing bad for him because his offensive line isn't good. So they get to him very quickly, and he can't really get the ball out. So I think because of his poor offensive line, and he doesn't want to run the ball because he just gets killed. He doesn't want to get hurt, and he wants to stay there, obviously, the whole season. No one wants to get hurt, but with that being so reserved, he's flinging the ball very quickly out of the pocket, and the cunts aren't open. You'd expect them to be open the way they played last year, but they're not. And someone like Tank Dell is you need at least a couple seconds for him to get downfield. And it would explain why Nico Collins is such a big target, because he's big, he's lengthy, and it's easy for his routes and he gets the ball very easily compared to Tank Dell, who hasn't got as much receptions because he's all the way downfield, and Stroud has to try and navigate his way through the pocket or throw it out or, don't take a sack or whatever. So, look, he's seeing fucking ghosts at the moment, to be honest. And one thing I wish Colts had won because they would really put the pressure on them. And like I've said the whole year, Texans aren't good. And they're no threat to KC, Bills, or Ravens, or even Steelers. They'll all fucking rape them.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Tennessee or Houston, so we can carry on.
Nice.
I'm going to put a bow on these next two games. I'll do a 2-for-1 special for you guys. And I'm just thinking out loud here, all right?
You don't want to talk about Carolina?
I'm going to talk about them in unison with Commanders.
All in one.
And I'm just thinking out loud here, and I would say, I think this NFL season's probably been a bit more of a struggle for myself personally and the pod in general compared to previous seasons. A lot of the sharp punters have gotten raped on this sport in the last 2 years, and it's a lot to do with traditional things not working. But I want to take it even one step further back to just try and make sense of what the fuck happens on a week-to-week basis in this sport. And, I would say 10 weeks, 11 weeks, it's a pretty large sample size as far as the sporting season goes of, knowing what we know and knowing what we don't know. And at this stage, Jaden Daniels literally looked like some god playing the quarterback position for 10 weeks. They went 6 weeks without punting. They were top 3 in third down efficiency, third down offense, converting in the red zone, points per game, all this garbage. On the other hand, Bryce Young was literally like the walking meme. You had Will Levis, who's in his own tier. And then one tier below him, you had Bryce Young of, oh, this guy's 5'10", he should be running out waters, he shouldn't be a quarterback. We're going to drop this cunt for Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton comes in, they win, everyone thinks they're good. They fuck it up for 5 more weeks. They throw him back out there. They go to Denver, they're plus 13.5. They can't even cover that because he throws 12 picks. And like...
all of a sudden...
click your fingers. Now Jaden Daniels can't throw. Now Washington can't score. And now Carolina have become gods. Out of nowhere. It wasn't a slow, like, ascension of Carolina playing better every week. And, oh, fuck, they almost covered. They only lost by 10. But then they lost by 3. Then they won. And now they keep winning. They just did this. Went and beat Saints. Went and beat Giants. Only lost to Kansas City by 3 today for no reason. As 11-point fucking underdogs. And of all the teams that could go on their bye and just, like... go and just give up and fucking be like, oh, we got our 2 wins, we don't give a fuck anymore. No, Panthers go in there preparing for the Super Bowl, and on the other side of things, someone like Giants, who I would say have a more competent coach in Brian Daboll to fire up the troops, they're the pricks that come out there and give up. So this is just a microcosm of what the fuck I'm not seeing it clearly at the moment in this sport, that all those weeks we came on the pod and said, you know what, Jaden Daniels, he's a rookie at the end of the day. He is human. He's going to fuck it up at some point. And we watched him week after week after week not do it. Play Steelers, only lose by like just the narrowest margin. Go and get raped by Philly. And now you guys lost outright
to
Dallas. Has anyone watched Dallas playing the last 3 or 4 weeks?
Clearly not.
Go and watch them play Falcons.
You don't need to.
Go and watch them play Eagles. And this Texans team that just got raped by Will Levis, go watch them play them and tell me that you would expect them to win a game. Let alone against Commanders on 10-day turnaround, having lost 2 in a row, lost to Philly, going home to Washington. Fair enough. I get it. It's not easy to cover 10.5 in a division game. Well, Denver seemed to fucking do it with no dramas. I'll get to them next. Dolphins did it with fucking as if Patriots weren't even on the field with them. Miami just ran out there, their offense by themselves, put it in the end zone, punt it to themselves, put it in the end zone again. That's fine. But for now, Commanders to just go tooth and nail and do all this and lose to Dallas anyway, I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't get why Panthers are all of a sudden fired up and now Commanders don't give a fuck anymore.
I'll tell you, Commanders are the dirt of the sport. For you pricks to have this much hype and you're 7-5. 7-5. Wake up!
Were they 7-2?
Yeah.
Wow. So essentially they're just like, all right, Eagles, here's the division. We kept it close for long enough. Now we're tired.
Literally. Look, the only thing I would call out with both Carolina and Dallas is, do you cunts like want the number 1 pick, or are you just going to give it to Giants?
Giants want it. But then Giants will go and win next week.
My issue is, like, we got to the point of the season, we're almost in December now. You can't, and the NFL is notorious for this, so I don't know why no one's doing it this year. Why is no one tanking? What, you cunts have such a good lineup, you don't need to tank? Yeah, Dallas's lineup is so good, they don't need to tank anymore.
Why would Panthers tank? They have their quarterback of the next 2 decades.
Giants are the only team who look like they were tanking.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Raiders, you can make an argument.
Raiders, you could make an argument, but they tried.
Yeah, I know.
Giants didn't try.
Yeah.
So, look, fair enough. Giants, I'll completely stay away from your fucking spreads if I know you've given up. But I know you cunts are going to go win next week. I already know it's going to happen. But I'll happily stay away. If you've thrown in the towel and you're just going to fucking quit for the rest of the year and get a number 1 pick and get a quarterback, fair income. That's fine with me. But do you other pricks... The nerve of Dallas. You know what is going to piss me off about Dallas? They're going to finish like records above Giants, Carolina, Saints probably, Jags, Browns, get a 5th or 7th pick or some fucking garbage.
And draft some
inbred and finish in the same spot again and say, oh, brother, Dak was out. When they completely had the opportunity to throw in the towel, and you've thrown in the towel the last 3 weeks, you fucks. And this week you're like, nah. We should beat Commanders. It's good for our record. Like you give a fuck. Like when you were at home to Texans, I feel sorry for these home fans. They're 0-5 at home and 4-2 on the road. Make sense of that.
I can't believe they went and won today. If Panthers won, that would have shocked me less than Dallas winning. Dallas was like If I had to go through the entire NFL season and not take one underdog, it would have been Dallas today. They fucking have already given up. They showed us their hands. They don't give a fuck about the season anymore, but now Jaden Daniels can't score. That stings, man. Like, I don't get it. I really don't.
You want to get onto the other one that stings?
Bowers.
Bowers next?
Yeah, look, Raiders, like... I'm the fool. It's not on Raiders.
You picked them at the wrong time.
I knew. And I came on the... fucked up big time, Chris. On so many fronts with these cunts. I should actually, before I do my handicapping, go and listen to myself on this podcast for a lot of these games. Because I say one thing on Tuesday and then I take some other garbage. 3 weeks ago, when Raiders miraculously covered against Chiefs, I said, these guys are done. It's over with them. There's no reason to cover again. But I got baited. You know, I saw Raiders 6.5. And I was like, is Peyton Manning back for Broncos? No, he's not. Is fucking... I don't know. Is Shannon Sharp playing tight end for them this week? He found a time machine. No, he's not. It's the same losers. They're minus 6.5 on the road. And clearly fucking Tennessee and Dallas showed us that big divisional dogs, you know, half the time they win outright, let alone get 6.5 points at home. Watch the close at 5.5.
You're in the wrong division.
Watch these cunts win, like go into halftime leading, what was it? Oh God, it's Raiders.
13-9.
13-9. Something stupid, right?
It's Raiders.
They force a 3-and-out straight away.
They think they've got...
Minshew gets the ball. They go down like 50 yards. And then he just throws a fucking... Essentially a pick six. All good. They concede a touchdown. They're still covering. They go 3-and-out again. Denver score again. They're not covering anymore. They're down 10. And they go all the way down to the 5-yard line of Denver. It gets to 4th down. There's like 3 minutes left.
And they kick a field goal.
Antonio Pierce is like, okay, sure. From that point forward, they force a 3-and-out. Their defense is possessed. They get the ball back. Yes.
They get the ball back.
They get the ball back, and then they fumble. They fumble. They give Denver the ball. They're like, here's a field goal. And Denver's like, all right, we'll take it. Now we're up 10 again. Great, fantastic. So there is a path for Raiders to cover here. Denver have given up. There's no time on the clock that Raiders can do anything. And here comes Bowers. And here comes Jacoby Myers all the way to the 1-yard line where his elbow touches the fucking floor. And they call 1st and goal. Raiders have a timeout. They call it Yalla Boys. Let's draw up 3 of the best plays we have. First play, incomplete. Second play, Desmond Ridder gets sacked. And then they don't even snap the ball again. They just give up. So I feel like 6.5 is still probably the right side. But that means nothing when the bet loses anyway. So who gives a fuck? Denver, defensively, you guys are a top 3 unit on the stat sheet for the whole season. And you play like it every week. Knicks is decent enough that... I don't think anyone scored more than 20 against this Denver team since Ravens raped them. And pre-existing Ravens, no one else had done it since maybe Chargers. So that's like 2 in the last 8 games that I've actually put up a good score for Knicks to chase down. We saw against Ravens that, look, if you go and put 35 on these losers, Knicks can't keep up with that. But if you're going to hold teams to field goals and do whatever, then yes, they can keep covering. And shout out to Sean Payton and Bo Nix and Vance Joseph and everyone in that building. They fucked Russell Wilson off. They were the laughing stock of the sport essentially coming into the season. Vegas had their win total at 5.5, and these cunts are probably going to make the playoffs. So you covered again. Hallelujah. Good on you guys. Sayonara Raiders. Till next year. Wow, you guys suck ass.
You're not going to take them on Black Friday?
Black Friday, White Friday, Rainbow Friday. Fuck you, Raiders. That's what I think of that.
Maybe I'm going to take them over. It's kind of like you're taking over my Dragons.
And Portland.
Fucking hell. It's taking over all my teams. I've got nothing much to say on this. I didn't take Raiders because, in my opinion, you got to time it right with these cunts, and it was timed wrong. You got to, my issue is when you think they're going to win, that's when they're going to fuck it up the most. It's when, they're completely inept and everyone thinks they're against them. Similar to week 2. Listen, one of their fucking wins is Ravens. In fucking Baltimore. No one's done that before, but Raiders managed to pull it off.
That's scary.
And no one fucking backed them. So you got to just time it right with Raiders, and it could be next week.
Raiders suck ass.
This close.
Moving on to two shit games. 49ers have given up on the season. Purdy's hurt.
These guys want the number 1 pick.
Nick Bosa's hurt. They're like, you know what, fuck it. So, Super Bowl hangover is real. Their window's pretty much closed. They're tired, and
they don't care.
They're not going to make the playoffs, which is fine. I think they need a year to regroup, but this was the telltale game that they've mailed it in. So, I thought they actually tried a lot. They moved up and down the field a lot. Shit just didn't go their way. This is a typical,
Green Bay victory.
This is a typical game where 49ers, prepped probably pretty well for the whole week considering all the outs, went into the game, looked quite competent at a lot of the game, look up at the scoreboard at the end of it, see 38-10, go sit in the locker room, look at each other after the game and be like, all right, now we can quit.
Yeah.
So they can quit, that's fine.
Green Bay aren't good, so I don't want anyone to fucking get it twisted on this podcast for us to come out and say, yeah, love, you played a mad game. I'm not scared of Green Bay.
Yeah, they're just fucking
garbage.
A little bit overrated at 9.
And then speaking of overrated, we'll go on to these cunts who, if there wasn't enough money lost on fucking Indianapolis,
the true liquidation
was, you could say this one or the next one, but I think this one there was more money on it.
But by the next game, there was no money left.
There was no money left. Arizona went to the Seahawks, and the deemed field, that home field advantage doesn't work. It seemed to scare Kyler Murray. Or they must have had Xbox on the fucking big screen because this guy was playing COD instead of throwing the ball. 6 points. There's no reason to only let keep Seattle defense to keep you to 6 points. They're fucking garbage. And I actually came on the podcast and said Seattle suck. They're going to lose this game. But to the trend of this sport at the moment is that there was too much money on Arizona, so they have to lose. And it went from +3 all the way to -1, which is a 4-point swing. And in the NFL, that's almost trillions of dollars to move it that much. They are the better team. They have an identity, which apparently you need an identity to win football games, even though Seahawks have won 6 of them and are currently the 3rd seed in the fucking conference. So wake up. And they won anyway. And Seahawks, look, I trusted they were able to score. They got 16, and Bob's your uncle. If Arizona's only score 6, then these can't.
Yeah, six is not going to get it done. I think the game was in the balance at some point, and then the pick 6 from Kyler essentially shut the gates. Gino obviously threw it into double coverage in the Arizona end zone like he does once a game, but they couldn't make him pay on the other side of things. This division, I truly believe all of them will have the same record by the end of the season. So
except 20.
It's the great equilibrium, as Chris said, in the NFC West, that no team can get too far ahead of the pack. And with the Cardinals win, knowing that Niners and Rams also got raped this week, they would have been 2 wins in front, and that's just not humanly possible. So now Seattle are officially your 3 seed in the NFC, which is fucking despicable. But what was more despicable was their competition in the division. Matthew Stafford and co. got raped by Eagles, who have now won 7 in a row, 6 in a row. And hilariously,
they're the team that everyone threw away.
These motherfuckers have covered essentially every game in this win streak. And
except one.
They were famously -7.5 to Jacksonville. The only game they didn't cover. But they would have covered -7 at Cincinnati, at Dallas, at Rams, to Commanders. But the only pricks they didn't cover it to was to Jacksonville when they actually led that game 23-0. So fuck you, Philadelphia. But in respect to Philly,
they're good.
They've been defending their absolute nutsacks off. So you got to give that to them, that the secondary that came into the season fucking god-awful is now actually gone. And that means Hurts doesn't have to start doing stupid shit and fumbling because he's not chasing down.
He doesn't have to do anything these days.
He doesn't have to do much. Hand it to Saquon. When that doesn't work, throw it to Saquon.
If that doesn't work,
peg it at AJ Brown. So that's their formula at the moment. And defensively, if they're going to hold teams to 14 points, 17 points, they have enough talent on the offensive line and the skill positions with Saquon and AJ Brown that they can get 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, especially when they're forcing 3 and outs, and getting good field position. The games haven't been close, so you haven't had a situation where you have to back down to fucking Nick Sirianni's dog wank play calling and Hurts' shit interception / fumbling problems. So
Don't worry, Saquon's going to start.
Philly put another W in their win column, and
are they a threat to the Lions?
Yeah, if they're going to defend this well, yeah, sure. Because their front, like defensively, their front has always been good at stopping the run and getting pressure up the middle.
And
now
you don't trust Goff with $1.
I trust him more than I trust Hurts, so that's fine. I think like it's not a 1A 1B thing. Like Lions are way better than all these bums in the NFC, but if anyone's going to beat them, I feel like it's either Philly or Vikings at this stage. Don't talk to me about Seahawks, Falcons, and fucking Commanders and Green Bay. No, it's not happening, bruv.
Well, Arizona.
Yeah, they can beat anyone.
Saints.
Shout out to you. I missed them this week. Saints, Jacksonville, Jets, particularly Jets.
Bills.
And Buffalo, I could not watch them for the rest of the year.
There's 2 more teams that we've missed out on this week.
Yeah, well, there's Chargers and Ravens tomorrow, which...
No, that doesn't matter.
Ravens of fucking war are coming to town, baby.
Absolutely. Y'all love Ravens.
Yeah, but essentially, look, horrible week for the pod. We will bounce back in week 13 of the NFL. We'll have that preview ready for you guys at some point of this week. Thanks for the love and the support. Any comments, you can let us know to fucking wake up in the comment section below. We'll love it.
Agree.
Love to hear from you as always. Peace out. Catch you later.
Peace.